Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Awesome. Today, we're looking at some really cool AI advancements, stuff that's making waves in research right now.
Yeah, some really cutting edge stuff.
We've got this NLLG Quarterly arXiv report, which gives us a great overview,
Right.
and then some individual papers on like specific AI models and their capabilities. So, should we just jump right in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so first up, this NLLG report. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, ARCO is basically like this massive online hub where researchers share their work before it gets officially published, peer-reviewed journals and all that.
Yeah, it's a great way to stay up to date on the latest findings, even before they've gone through the whole formal publication process.
Exactly, and this quarterly report from NLLG, they do a really great job of highlighting the key trends and breakthroughs that they're seeing.
Yeah, they do a fantastic analysis of all the papers that are coming out.
So what stood out to you in this report? Like, what were some of the big takeaways?
Well, one thing that jumped out at me was, natural language processing, NLP. It's still a dominant force, of course.
Right. I mean, it feels like that's been the hot area for a while now.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's this kind of a noticeable shift happening. Like there's more and more research coming out on computer vision
Oh, interesting.
and general machine learning. So it's like AI is, it's broadening its horizons, expanding beyond just language, I guess.
Like AI is learning to see the world, not just read about it. That's
Mhm.
pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly.
And speaking of seeing, the report also talks about this emergence of what they call multimodal models. What exactly does that mean? I mean, it sounds kind of jargony.
Yeah, multimodal can sound a bit intimidating, but it's actually a really simple idea. Basically, it means AI systems that can process and integrate different types of data, not just text, but images, videos, even audio.
Yeah.
So it's like, we humans, we don't just experience the world through one sense. We see, we hear, we feel. Multimodal AI is kind of trying to replicate that, being able to take in information from multiple sources and put it all together.
So it's not just about understanding words on a page, it's about understanding the full context of an image,
Yeah.
a video, a whole scene.
Exactly.
That's pretty amazing. This report also touches on the use of generative AI in academic research, which I don't know, I found that kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's a hot topic right now.
Because, I mean, we all hear about, you know, students using ChatGPT to write their essays and stuff.
Right.
But it seems like researchers are using these tools too.
They are. The report actually finds that while generative AI is being used more and more in academic writing, the papers that are really making a splash, the ones getting the most citations, actually show less evidence of AI-generated content.
Wait, really? So it's like the researchers who are maybe a little more, I don't know, thoughtful about how they're integrating AI are actually getting better results.
Yeah, that's the suggestion. Like, those who are really carefully using AI as a tool to enhance their own thinking and writing are producing higher quality work.
Huh. Makes you think about how we can all use these tools more effectively, right?
Mm.
Okay, so this report gives us a great overview of the AI landscape. But now let's zoom in on a specific area where AI is making some really big strides, language models.
Right?
And in particular, there's this paper on Meta's Llama 3 models, which are like the giants of the language world.
Oh, yeah, they are definitely pushing the boundaries of what's
I
possible.
mean, I've heard these models are massive. Like, how big are we talking?
Okay, so to understand how powerful these models are, we need to talk about parameters. Essentially, parameters are like the internal settings of an AI model that determine how it learns and processes information. The more parameters, the more complex and nuanced the model's understanding can be. And Llama 3 is operating on a scale we've never seen before. We're talking 405 billion parameters.
405 billion. That's mind-boggling. So it's like having an AI with a brain that's like orders of magnitude larger than anything we've seen before.
Yeah, it really is remarkable. And with that scale comes some really exciting possibilities.
Like what can these massive models actually do?
Well, for one, they can potentially grasp subtleties and nuances in language that were previously inaccessible to AI. Think about the difference between a basic chatbot and a human who can understand sarcasm, humor, and complex emotions. This increase in scale is bringing us closer to that level of sophistication in AI.
So it's not just about like writing grammatically correct sentences anymore.
Right, it's about understanding the deeper meaning, the intent, the emotion behind the words.
That's a game changer, right? And it's not just about text anymore either. Llama 3 is a prime example of those multimodal models we were talking about earlier. It can
Okay.
process and generate text, images, video, even speech.
Exactly. It's like AI is becoming this multi-sensory being, able to interact with the world in all these different ways.
That's incredible. And the paper even mentions that Llama 3 is designed to be on par with GPT-4 in terms of performance. I mean, GPT-4 is already capable of some pretty amazing stuff.
Oh, absolutely. GPT-4 has set a high bar, so the fact that Llama 3 is aiming to match it is a huge deal. This could really push the field forward in a big way.
Okay, so we've got these massive language models that can seemingly do it all. But what about figuring out whether something was written by a human or by one of these, AI marvels?
That's a great question, and it's one that researchers are actively working on.
Because, I mean, that's got to have huge implications, right? Like for education, for journalism, for anything where authenticity matters.
Absolutely. And that's where this next paper we're looking at comes in, Detect GPT. It presents a really clever new method for identifying machine-generated text.
Detect GPT. Okay.
Yeah.
So how does that work? Is it like, looking for typos or something?
No, it's much more sophisticated than that. The method hinges on this fascinating concept of probability curvature. It sounds complicated, but it's actually a way of measuring how smooth or bumpy a probability distribution is.
Okay, I'm not sure I'm following.
So think of it this way. When humans write, we tend to use words and phrases in a way that creates a certain kind of flow, a certain rhythm to the text. AI, on the other hand, generates text based on probabilities, and that can create a different kind of pattern, a different kind of curvature in the probability distribution of the text.
Okay, so it's like AI leaves a unique fingerprint on its writing, and Detect GPT can analyze that fingerprint to figure out where it came from.
Exactly. And the really cool thing about Detect GPT is that it's what we call zero-shot detection, meaning you don't need to train it on examples of a specific AI's writing style. You
Yeah.
can just feed it any text, and it can assess the likelihood of it being human or machine-generated.
So it's like it's a universal AI lie detector.
In a way, yes. It's a powerful tool for distinguishing between human and machine-generated text, which is becoming increasingly important in this age of AI.
No kidding. Okay, so we've explored the world of language models. Now, let's shift gears and dive into another area where AI is making some phenomenal progress. Computer vision.
Oh, yeah, computer vision is really exploding right now. So much exciting work happening.
And the first paper we're going to look at is about a model called Segment Anything, or SAM.
SAM is really cool. What makes it so remarkable is its ability to do exactly what its name suggests, segment anything in an image.
Segment.
Yeah. So imagine being able to pinpoint and perfectly outline any object in a picture, even with minimal input from the user. Like you could just point to something and Sam could like draw a perfect outline around it.
Okay, so it's like giving AI the ability to see and understand individual objects within a complex image.
Exactly. And that has some really powerful implications for a whole range of applications.
Okay, so how would we actually use this? Like, what are the real world applications of something like that?
Oh, the applications are incredibly diverse. Just imagine SAM being used in medical imaging to help doctors precisely identify tumors or other abnormalities, or in self-driving cars, where it could help the vehicle instantly recognize pedestrians, cyclists, and other obstacles.
Oh.
It's like we're giving these systems a level of visual intelligence that was previously unimaginable. It's a real game changer.
It really is. And, it's funny because when we talk about AI, so often the focus is on language, but it's clear that computer vision is like right up there in terms of how quickly it's advancing.
Absolutely. And it's not just SAM that's making waves. Researchers are also pushing the boundaries of vision transformers, which are incredibly powerful models for understanding images.
Okay, so vision transformers, tell me more about those. What are they and why are researchers so excited about them?
So, vision transformers are a relatively new type of model that has shown incredible promise in various computer vision tasks. And what's particularly exciting is the research being done on scaling these models to unprecedented sizes. Remember how we talked about parameters being key to a model's complexity and understanding?
Right, with the llama model.
Exactly. Well, researchers are now building vision transformers with billions of parameters, pushing the limits of what these models can achieve.
So it's like we're in this in this race to build bigger, more powerful vision transformers.
Yeah.
What what's the driving force behind that? What are they hoping to achieve?
The goal is to create AI systems that can not only see, but truly comprehend visual information on a deeper level. And these massive vision transformers are showing remarkable performance in tasks like image classification, object detection, and even generating really realistic images.
It's almost like we're teaching machines to see the world the way we do, with all its complexity and nuance.
That's a great way to put it. And the progress is happening so rapidly, it's really exciting to see where this field is headed.
It is. It's incredible. And it seems like this is just the tip of the iceberg, right?
Oh, absolutely. We're just scratching the surface of what's possible with computer vision.
Okay, well, to wrap up this first part of our deep dive, let's talk about a paper that showcases how all these different AI capabilities, language, vision, even creative generation, are starting to converge. This paper is on visual ChatGPT.
Oh, visual ChatGPT, that's a fascinating one. It really takes us beyond the realm of text-only language models.
Okay, so what can it do?
Well, this system can not only hold conversations, but it can also generate drawings and edit images based on your instructions, all through a combination of visual and language understanding.
So it's like having an AI artist and conversational partner all rolled into one.
Exactly, and it's really pushing the boundaries of how we interact with AI.
What kind of creative possibilities does that open up, do you think?
The possibilities are endless, really. Imagine designers using visual ChatGPT to brainstorm ideas and instantly visualize them. Or architects creating 3D models of buildings just by describing them to the AI. We're talking about a whole new way of interacting with computers, one where visual and language understanding come together seamlessly.
That's pretty amazing.
It is. It really feels like we're entering a whole new era of AI. It's a fascinating time to be following all this. I mean, as we've seen, there's a real sense of ambition in AI research now. Like, it's not just about making things a little bit better, it's about really pushing the boundaries.
Yeah, you're right. There's this incredible energy and momentum in the field.
Yeah.
And it's not just ambition, it's the sheer scale of these projects.
Yeah.
We talked about Llama 3 with its 405 billion parameters and vision transformers being developed with billions of parameters. It makes you wonder, where does it stop? What are the limits of building these massive AI models?
It's a good question and one that researchers are definitely thinking about. While creating larger and more complex models is one path, there's also a growing focus on efficiency. As these models get more powerful, they also demand more computational resources, which can be really costly and energy intensive.
So it's a balancing act, right? Building bigger AIs, but also making them smarter and more efficient.
Exactly. Like optimizing code, but on a much grander scale. And speaking of expanding our thinking, another trend I'm seeing is the rise of interdisciplinary collaboration in AI research. We're seeing computer scientists working alongside linguists, cognitive scientists, neuroscientists, even artists and designers.
That's fascinating. So it's not just a purely technical field anymore. It's bringing together all these different perspectives and areas of expertise. I'm curious, what are some of the benefits of this kind of cross-pollination of ideas?
Well, look at visual ChatGPT. It's a perfect example of how this interdisciplinary approach can lead to really groundbreaking stuff. It's not just a computer science project. It's a fusion of AI, language, visual art, and human-computer interaction. That kind of collaboration is essential for pushing the boundaries.
It's like AI is learning to speak the language of different fields, opening up all these new possibilities. Okay, so we've talked about the ambition, the scale, the interdisciplinary nature of this research. But let's get practical for a moment. What are some ways these advancements could actually impact our lives?
Well, one area where we'll likely see a significant impact is in automation. AI is already being used to automate tasks in all sorts of industries, from manufacturing to customer service. But with these advancements, we can expect even more sophisticated automation, even in jobs that were once considered exclusively human domains.
So are robots coming for our jobs?
Yeah.
That's the question everyone always asks.
It's not quite as simple as that. It's more accurate to say that AI will augment human capabilities, allowing us to focus on tasks that require creativity, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence. It's about creating a more powerful partnership between humans and AI.
So it's not about replacing humans, it's about collaboration and enhancing what we can do. That makes sense. What other areas of our lives could be impacted by these advancements?
Healthcare is another field where AI has huge potential. We already mentioned how SAM could revolutionize medical imaging, but that's just one example. AI is being used to develop new drugs, personalize treatments, even assist with surgery. With these advancements, we could see more accurate diagnoses, more effective treatments, and ultimately, longer, healthier lives.
Incredible to think about. AI could really transform healthcare. What about education? How could these advancements change how we learn and teach?
Imagine every student having access to a personalized AI tutor that adapts to their individual learning style and provides customized feedback. AI could help create truly personalized learning experiences, making education more engaging and effective for everyone.
It's like having a personal AI teacher who knows exactly how you learn best. That's amazing. But with all this talk about the potential benefits of AI, it's hard not to think about the potential downsides too. We've all seen those movies where AI goes rogue and takes over the world. Are those fears justified?
I think it's important to acknowledge the potential risks of any powerful technology, and AI is no exception. But we also have the power to shape how this technology is developed and used. It's up to us to ensure that AI is aligned with human values and used for good.
So it's about being responsible and thoughtful in how we develop and use AI, making sure it benefits all of humanity, not just a select few.
Precisely. And that requires transparency and accountability. As AI systems become more complex, we need to understand how they work, how decisions are being made, and who is responsible for those decisions. We can't just blindly trust these systems. We need to be able to understand and scrutinize them.
It's like the old adage, trust but verify, but for AI.
Exactly. And that requires a collaborative effort, not just among researchers and developers, but also with policymakers, ethicists, and the public at large. It's a multi stakeholder conversation that needs to be happening now as AI becomes increasingly integrated into our lives.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the social, ethical, and political frameworks we build around it. Okay, so we've talked about some of the big picture implications of AI. Now, I'm curious to hear about some specific examples of how these advancements are being used in the real world today.
One area where we're seeing a lot of exciting activity is in the creative industries. AI is being used to generate music, write poetry, create artwork, even design video games. And in some cases, the results are incredibly impressive, even indistinguishable from human created content.
I've seen some of those AI generated art pieces, and they are pretty mind blowing. It's like AI is tapping into some hidden creative potential that we didn't even know existed. But it also raises some interesting questions about the nature of creativity. Is AI truly being creative, or is it simply mimicking patterns it's learned from human created data?
That's a great question. It's one that philosophers and artists are debating right now. Is AI simply a tool for human creativity, or is it becoming a creator in its own right? It's a fascinating question to consider as we see these models becoming more sophisticated.
It really makes you think about what it means to be creative and where those creative impulses come from.
Absolutely. And it's not just about art and entertainment. AI is also being used in more practical ways, like improving customer service, streamlining business processes, even fighting crime.
Wait, AI fighting crime? That sounds like something straight out of a science fiction movie. How is that even possible?
It's not quite as dramatic as what you see in the movies, but AI is definitely playing a bigger role in law enforcement. For example, AI can analyze crime data to identify patterns and predict where crimes are likely to occur. This can help police departments allocate resources more effectively and potentially prevent crimes before they happen.
So it's like having an AI detective that can see connections and patterns that humans might miss.
Exactly. And AI can analyze surveillance footage, identify suspects, and even help track down missing persons. In some cases, AI is even being used to assist with interrogations, analyzing facial expressions, and body language to assess credibility.
Wow, those are some powerful tools. But it also raises some important questions about privacy and civil liberties. How do we ensure that AI is used responsibly and ethically in these contexts?
You're right, it's a critical consideration. As with any powerful technology, there's potential for misuse, and it's crucial to have safeguards in place to protect individual rights and freedoms.
It's a delicate balance, but an incredibly important one. We need to ensure that AI is used to protect people, not to infringe on their rights. So we've talked about AI in the creative industries and law enforcement. What about the role of AI in government more broadly?
AI is already having a major impact on how governments operate and deliver services, and this is only going to grow. One potential benefit is increased efficiency and effectiveness. AI can automate tedious tasks, freeing up government workers to focus on more complex and meaningful work. It can also help personalize services, tailoring them to the specific needs of individual citizens.
It sounds like AI could have a really positive impact on government services, making them more efficient, responsive, and citizen-centric. But are there potential downsides to consider?
One concern is bias. If AI systems are trained on biased data, they can perpetuate and even amplify those biases, leading to unfair or discriminatory outcomes. This is a really important issue in areas like criminal justice, social services, and healthcare, where decisions made by AI systems can have a huge impact on people's lives.
That's a crucial point. How do we make sure that AI systems used in government are fair, unbiased, and don't discriminate against certain groups of people?
It's a complex challenge, but there are things we can do. It starts with being aware of the potential for bias and taking steps to mitigate it. This includes carefully selecting the data used to train AI systems, using techniques to debias data, and rigorously testing systems to ensure they are fair and equitable.
So it's about being proactive and vigilant, not just assuming that AI systems are inherently fair.
Exactly. And it also involves bringing diverse voices and perspectives into the development and deployment of these systems. If the people building and using AI systems don't represent the diversity of the population they serve, there's a greater risk that biases will go unnoticed and unaddressed.
That makes sense. It's about ensuring that the people shaping AI reflect the values and diversity of the people who will be impacted by it.
Absolutely. And we also need clear guidelines and regulations to ensure that AI is used ethically and responsibly across all areas of government. This includes considerations around data privacy, transparency, accountability, and oversight.
It seems like there's a lot to consider when it comes to AI's role in government. It's not just about the technology, it's about the broader societal impact.
It really is. And it's a conversation we need to be having now as AI is becoming increasingly integrated into our lives.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, the latest research, the potential benefits and risks of AI, and its impact on various industries and sectors.
We've talked about how important it is to be responsible and proactive in how we develop and use this technology. But before we move on to our final thoughts, I wanted to touch on something that really struck me as we were discussing these different applications of AI.
Yeah, it's really striking how um, AI is touching so many different fields now. Like, it's not just computer science anymore, right? We're talking healthcare, education, art, government. I mean, it feels like practically every aspect of our lives.
It really is. It's becoming this pervasive force,
Hmm.
shaping how we work, learn, create, even govern ourselves. It's a huge shift, and it's happening across the board.
Yeah, and it can feel a bit overwhelming,
Ah,
especially for folks who aren't like deep in the AI world every day.
I get that. It's a fast moving field. There's so much happening. It can be hard to keep up. But I think the key is to approach it with curiosity, just a desire to learn. You don't need to become an expert overnight.
So for our listeners who are feeling a little overwhelmed, what are some simple things they can do to, stay ahead of the curve?
Well, start by paying attention to how AI is already being used in your life. Like, notice those personalized recommendations you get on Spotify or Amazon. Think about the chatbots you run into on websites or the facial recognition on your phone. AI is already all around us.
It's like it's this invisible force shaping so much of what we do online.
Exactly. And once you start to see it, you can start thinking about its impact. Ask yourself, how are these AI systems influencing my choices, my behavior, even how I see the world? Are they making things easier? Are they respecting my privacy, my values?
Yeah, those are important questions to ask. It's about being a conscious user, not just a passive one.
Exactly. And, if you're feeling adventurous, why not explore some basic AI concepts yourself? There are tons of great resources online. A lot of them are free. You don't need to be a programmer to get the basics.
Yeah, it's like learning a new language, right?
Uh-huh.
But instead of talking to humans, you're learning to talk to machines.
That's a good way to think about it. And
Hmm.
who knows, you might discover a new passion.
Exactly. But even if you don't become a developer, just having a basic understanding of these technologies can empower you to participate in the conversations that are shaping their future.
It's about being an informed citizen in a world that's increasingly driven by AI.
Well said. We've covered a lot of ground today. The latest breakthroughs, the ethical questions, the potential impacts of AI. It's a lot to take in.
It is, and it's important to remember that we're really just at the beginning of this AI revolution. The possibilities are huge, and they're still unfolding.
It feels like we're standing at this incredible turning point. Like we're on the edge of a future that's being shaped by these powerful technologies.
And it's up to all of us to engage with these developments in a thoughtful way, with a sense of responsibility.
Absolutely. The future of AI isn't something that's just happening to us. It's something we're creating through the choices we make and how we engage with these technologies.
So stay curious, stay informed, stay engaged.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive into the world of AI. We hope you found it informative and maybe even a little inspiring.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep questioning. The future is what we make it.
And with AI as our partner, the possibilities are pretty much limitless. Thanks for listening.